Yesterday was one of Paul McCartney's favorite songs he penned for the Beatles. It was a hit song for the band and came to him in a dream. It remains one of their most popular and enduring songs to this day. Even though it worked, the group was a little ashamed of themselves. McCartney claimed that he was teased by his fellow musicians due to the song. The Beatles had a hit song with Yesterday, albeit they never released it as a single. It seemed out of place for a rock band. It was slow and wistful. It is not a record I would have released as a solo Paul McCartney release. In the Beatles Anthology, McCartney stated, "We never entertained those ideas. People would compliment us and say things like, 'Oh, you should get out front,' or 'You should put out a solo record,' which was occasionally alluring. But we refused every time. Since we were a rock and roll band, we were actually a little ashamed about it, so we didn't even release Yesterday as a single in England. I'm pleased with it. I remember George saying, 'Blimey, he's always talking about Yesterday. You'd think he was Beethoven or somebody.'" McCartney continued, "I get made fun of because of it a bit. However, I believe it to be the most comprehensive piece I have ever written." John Lennon clarified that the early title of the song was a contributing factor in their mockery of him. "We worked on this song for many months before we finished it," he remarked. "This would come up each time we got together to write songs for a recording session. We were almost done with it. Almost all of it was written by Paul. We just couldn't come up with a suitable title. We started calling it Scrambled Egg, and we started making jokes about it." McCartney remained confident in the tune despite the jokes from his fellow musicians. The main issue he had with it was that he didn't get as much money as he felt he should have. He said, "I am on 15% for Yesterday, which I wrote totally on my own, without John's or anyone else's help. It is absolutely unfair that I am only on 15% now, due of the deals that Brian Epstein made, especially considering how successful it has been. It might be the biggest hit of the century." McCartney was especially proud of the song because it seemed to have come to him almost supernaturally. He heard the melody in a dream. "That song was the most popular one I wrote. It's incredible that I just had a dream about it," he exclaimed.